Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Unification cast, the side of East Yorkshire, and today we have a 1v1 on Fatamorga. Over in the Demon's corner we've got Yazoo55, and over in the Imperial Fists corner we have Refiler. Special episode today, I'm being joined by the Laughing Max.
Hi there.
Hey, how are we doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm excited for this game. Just to get a quick overview about the players and the factions. Currently, rank number 1, I think, is Mr. Yazoo playing World Eaters. And rank, I don't know, 4 or something is Refiler on the other side. Both are really high stakes game here. And for the factions, World Eaters is the most overpowered faction next to Witch Hunters. But Imperial Fists is also on the more powerful spectrum, so it should be interesting, especially that I know that Yazoo is not really, how should I say, doesn't really know all the stuff for World Eaters, so gotta be interesting.
Absolutely. So everyone at the moment just going outside capturing their nearest and dearest. We've got the World Eaters player going to go for the Relic. No Relic going for the Imperial Fists character at the moment. So if you are on the seat of either player at the moment, Laughing Max, what kind of strategies could we expect to see from either player with the factions that they've gone so far?
And it's interesting. Did he cancel it? I thought that Refiler started. No, he has it. The Cultist Command Squad. It's actually leaving the base with Core Knight Marines right now. The Cultist Command Squad is normally done with Cultist spam, not with Core Knight Marine Squad next to it. So that's interesting. For Imperial Fists, I'm guessing standard economy boom, because they can really reinforce their listening posts for increased income, not like getting the weapons. And this is really cheap and really, how should I say, you can get up really big eco.
Absolutely. So we've got a big cultist force moving around, denying the relic to the Siege Marine squad over yonder. Another Siege Marine squad is trying their best to hold up against the unrelenting fire of the Core Knight Marines, cultist leaders and all the other bad boys and whatnot. This listening post is a little bit exposed as well, not quite getting that upgrade in there neither. Vin Diesel is out on the field, firing his bolt pistol from a distance, not wanting to get into close combat.
And a bit of a mistake is not finishing the listening post. He pulled the Tech Marine out too fast, but you can see the Tech Marine has a flamer and whatnot, so he can stand its ground. Getting focused here.
I was going to say, although this Tech Marine does look like he's in a bit of a bad situation, does narrowly manage with 24 health to avoid death from the Cultist Command Squad and his other boys. Vin Diesel chasing these boys away. They're going to go for the left flank. They have managed to decap that strategic point on the left flank of the Imperial Fist. Imperial Fist, though, with a Space Marine squad going right up to the Altar of Khorne in the World Eaters base. They're just going to go for some pot shots and see what they can do over there.
Yeah,
Chaos Armory going for the World Eaters as well.
The armory for the World Eaters is actually tier 2, so it's a quick tier 2 for World Eaters. Also, a thing to know is that the Altar of Khorne, their listening post, has no weapons attached to it. It can only use and quotation marks only use the blood pulse to do a crap ton of damage.
Ah, I see. So it's kind of like a one shot. What's the cooldown on that bad boy by any chance? Do you know?
Not much, but it does cost 4 or 5 blood points, and we see already 18 blood points accumulated for the World Eaters. So they really big blood for the Blood God here.
Excellent stuff. Skulls for the Skull Throne, corn for my cornflakes. So from what I understand, the World Eaters, they gain blood points from engaging in melee combat. So is there a disadvantage of this command squad firing at a long distance then?
The blood points are just when a model dies, you get 1 blood point or something. If it's your model or not your model, it doesn't care. Khorne doesn't discriminate. You actually get increased economy when you engage in melee. Every unit, it states like economy increases the gain of requisition when in close combat, or power by that sense. And it's like a temporary resource upgrade you can think of.
I see. Oh dear. Vin Diesel just about to go down. Going to have to be saved by this squad of Space Marines. We've got these Siege Marines around the corner, not really doing all that much. The whole point about Siege Marines, from what I understand, is that they stand near their friends and gives them some cover bonuses, but we're not seeing that much in the way the Siege Marine's been used in that regard.
You will see it actually, if you look at the Lonely Siege Marine here, he has this little heavy armor indicator on top. If he goes next to the Space Marine squads, they will also get a heavy armor, heavy thingy indicator indicating he buffs them.
There we go. He's standing stalwart with his friends in the middle. All these Core Knight Marines are going to run in, glowing red, seeing what damage they can do against these Grey Marines. And I assume that the Core Knight Marines will absolutely slap these boys around in close combat.
They aren't actually as good in close combat as the Standard Marines, or close to it. It's like you get like resources and whatnot, and you have your global abilities, which he did not use so far. Where you can buff your stuff really nice. And the red glow you have seen, that's the from the Cultist Command Squad, the execute ability. Similar, but not the same as a Commissar execution.
So not quite an execute, but more of a sacrifice then.
Yes.
Fantastic. Siege Marine squad going down to all this bolt of fire. Very quick, sharpish. Although we do have an even amount of Space Marines versus the red dudes, but mind you, most of the red dudes were cultists, so they're not going to... Well, their 7-light armor is not quite the same as the regular old Space Marines, so they're going to go around to the back and see if they can stay alive for a little bit longer. These guys are going to charge in, try and tie them up in close combat. These, I keep on wanting to call them Banana Marines, but they're not the correct colour for it, so they're going to try and fall back a little bit. A third squad of Space Marines are going to come in, providing some firing support from a distance as well. We've got more squads coming in for the Cultist Command Squad, and a heavy bottle turret being popped down by a Tech Marine, if he can survive.
There's a second Tech Marine that should join in the building duty. Tier 2 halfway done for the Imperial Fists, so they can catch up in tech a bit. That said, World Eaters is not building any Tier 2 stuff. I haven't looked about the upgrades, but Tier 1 versus Tier 1 right now.
I was going to say, because if the World Eaters player has been in Tier 2 for as long as he has, then I'm wondering what exactly can he bring to the battlefield to mess with this primarily infantry-based army composition that the Imperial Fists have gone for.
Yeah, but now it shows the strength of Imperial Fists. You see this big blob of Marines. That's because he has 111 and 20 versus 92 and 10 in economy. So Imperial Fists is, in the current version, the economy master.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially with them only having to build one, siege generator. They don't really have to focus on building too much in the way of that. They can just focus and pour lots of their money into the Marines.
Yeah, you normally end up with a real big bank of requisition if you do not spam at least 3 or 4 Marines as he is right now.
Although now that these Core Knight Marines are going to go for some plasma guns, they are pushing these Space Marines, these Loyalist Space Marines, back a little bit. And to be honest, the Core Knight faction are really dominating the battlefield. I mean, they've got some Berserkers going up against the Relic Listing Post over here. They're going to take some pot shots at the Listing Post over yonder. And even with this heavy bolter on the ridge of the mountain or the cliffside, the Siege Marines and the Imperial Fist can't really push out of the base all that well.
Yeah, it's interesting, but he can, if he loses too much, he cannot, how should I say, afford to replace everything, as his economy is really poor, as is for World Eaters if they are not in melee. So it's going to be interesting. Yasuo does, I'm not sure if he does not use on purpose the global abilities for World Eaters. The global abilities are the most overpowered thing, or one of the most overpowered things for World Eaters right now. So either he doesn't want to use him or doesn't know what they do, so he just don't use it.
I was going to say, because I mean, apart from World Eaters and Dark Eldar, maybe one Tyranids and a couple of other factions, having like a bar with extra abilities, it's not a very common thing. And if you're not familiar with it, it's not going to be the first thing that you think of when you're in the middle of an engagement.
Yeah, especially as I'm not sure if you have said that, but both players have random defections, so that could be a thing that he is not as how should I say good with World Eaters as he is with one of his main factions like Orcs, or I think Chaos he also plays quite a lot. Oh,
well, that makes sense then. Anyway, Vin Diesel back on the map. They have managed to break out of their base just a little bit. We do have a really cool looking model in the Core Knight Berserker squad. The dude with the little banner. That's if I can get a good angle on that bad boy. Yeah, that's a beautiful little model.
Yeah, it's an icon bearer, increasing the regeneration rate of nearby folks.
I wonder if he's got an attack animation where he just boinks people on the head with it. That would be very satisfying to watch.
Yeah.
We've got a big, massive charge going right down the eastern flank of the map. These Siege Marines don't want to get involved in this combat whatsoever. They are going to fall back as much as possible. One squad just kind of been caught in their pathing. They can't really get past all these Marines. We do have a listening post being finally finished up by the Tech Marine firing lots of flamey bits and flamethrowers in. By God, we do have a Razorback Mark 1 in on the field. He will be able to use his plasma guns and whatnot to wreak havoc upon the armour of the Core Knight Marines, although they are not deterred whatsoever, one iota by it. They are just going to charge straight in, trying to deter this Tech Marine from building up this heavy bolter turret. They do manage to kill him, and the second Tech Marine also goes down as well. More cultists coming round the flank, and the Imperial Fists hiding behind their listening post, but a second Razorback Mark 1 does come out as well. Crikey, that's a lot. That's a lot of shit going down in one engagement.
Yes, and the first Razorback did not go down through crack grenades. There were crack grenades thrown from if one of the leaders of the Core Knight Marine squads gives you access to crack grenades. It was not enough, so it's still alive. But now you see what I mean. If the world leaders are pushed back, they will have big problems to actually hold and reinforce their stuff. It's a big snowball faction. If the snowball somewhat gets out of its, how should I say, its speed, you have really bad time.
So when the, well, I mean, it would make sense when the World Eaters are on the offensive, then obviously they'll do a lot better. When they're on the defensive, a little bit of a decline. Oh dear, that Razorback Mark 1 does go down. So if you're in this situation, if you're playing World Eaters and you're on the back foot, what can you do possibly to get back into the game?
That's actually really difficult because I don't see now. He just builds the blood mechanicum, so he ignored his vehicles for a long time. But now there is these Razorback Mark 1, which are one of the units that are the strongest for Imperial Fists because they can do really good against infantry and with their twin glass cannons also against vehicles. So I'm not sure if vehicles is really the answer now.
And I was going to say, from what I understand about World Eaters as well, is that the more humans they buy, the more expensive their demons become, and vice versa. So transitioning to like a different unit composition with demons and stuff, that's not an option available really for them, is it?
Yeah, it's one of the more questionable design choices to pinpoint you down to Marines or demons. There's no real mixture you can go for. Vehicles, on the other hand, are costing the same all the time. But we see the Razorback here eating another crack grenade and is forced into melee and almost down.
Gonna say he's gonna do some Tokyo drifting, trying to get away from the chain swords of the Core Knight Berserkers, managing to just narrowly survive. Not sure why they're not committing to the final charge, but I suppose that they are chasing away these Space Marines over on the eastern flank, and well, they don't want to get lost in the melee combat against a tank when there's so much blood to be spilt with these Marines. And questionable retreat path. I mean, now they've got nowhere to go.
Oh my god, there's even a meat carrier, so this is bad.
Flip.
This is really bad. Jesus, why did he go? I mean, this is gonna be so. It's gonna hurt so much.
That's it. And even with the flanking provided by the Razorback Mark 1s, I mean, like you say, with these grenades, these guys aren't gonna stand up to all that much pressure. And we've only now got one Space Marine squad left. Vin Diesel on very much low health. What's happening on the Siege Marines side? We're getting some more Razorbacks, but that's it really.
One thing I want to point out, what I really like, is that Yasuo is using his cultist squad actually with grenade launchers and whatnot. Really good micro on his part. Most players, including me, use them for capping and then forgetting about them, and they just die. But you see here that he uses his grenade launchers and whatnot for some long-range support. Really nice play.
Absolutely, and I think that cult command squad has survived from day one in this match. So really good use in keeping them alive. Cultists are not the easiest things to remain relevant in the game all the way through, and he's managed to do it, so definitely hats off to him. We've managed to stave off the Cornite Assault for the moment. Corn is just getting his meat carriers, which is just a wonderful name for a transport. Makes me think of the tabletop Gene Steel cult models that they have for their transports. It's a very similar kind of vibe. It's very delicious to look at.
He got the autocannons for them, which is the completely right choice. The meat carriers can only transport cultists and the cultist command squad, however. So if you're not having those, it's a good vehicle, like Chimera-like vehicle. I really like them myself, but now there's the Razorbacks coming in and want to talk about it.
That's it. Although, mind you, with the way that the pathing's worked out, they've kind of ended up in a little bit of a difficult situation. If they get surrounded by these berserkers, they won't have anywhere to go. But mind you, more Space Marines coming around the side. Siege Marines also joining them. Again, not standing enough to not standing close enough to provide the cover that they are designed to do. More Space Marines coming out of the Hand of Dawn, which, by the by, looks very much like, I don't know if you've ever played Pokemon, but it always reminds me of a Pokemon training centre. Got a massive fist coming out with a little Pokeball in the hand.
Yeah.
Got a
but all the
Siege Dreadnought coming out.
There's a heavy bolter turret firing as well, so these are nothing to joke at, so the advance seems to be broken here.
I was going to say, yeah, they've lost a fair few models. Blood Cultist Squad, only with one member left, will have to retreat. Morale has been broken. Khorne Berserker still charging in. Razorback Mark 1 has gone down. Vin Diesel on very much low health. But with a Siege Dreadnought coming out, more Space Marines coming out, and just the unlimited amount of Razorbacks, it feels like as if they're on a suicide mission. Doesn't matter how many the Khorne faction breaks and destroys, there's always another Razorback to come along and see what else they can do.
The cost effectiveness ratio for them is like whatever they do, they get their money back. So that's one of the units that get toned down a bit for the next version. Whenever it comes out, these guys won't be as strong.
That is very exciting because for the people who watch this channel who aren't familiar with your channel, you've been given access to the beta for the next patch, haven't you?
Yes, there's only a handful of, let's say, trustworthy testers, because there was some shenanigans with a previous version where stuff leaked out and whatnot. So it's a private beta and not an open beta, thanks to one certain YouTuber. Yes, but I am one of the few that have been trusted access. So and also giving a lot of feedback. So I hope that I know that a lot of is implemented and stuff, so we'll be really happy with the next version. I can assure you.
Stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, please bear in mind that you are within the presence of the Adeptus Custodes of the YouTube casters, the man inside the vault who knows all the secrets. Sorry about that. The Siege Dreadnought is moving in, getting nice close and personal with his flamer and his other flamer. What is that? That's like a heavy flamer, isn't it? By the looks of things, from what I can see.
A flamer on the wrist and an inferno cannon on the other side.
Ah, fantastic! So he's just getting in there, trying to chip away at that blood mechanicum. Razorbacks are being pushed back, I suppose. Although they are holding them ever so slightly. We do have a unit of Khornite Berserkers moving around the side, down past the Razorbacks. They are slowly but surely going to die for the sheer amount of Space Marines that are following up. One lonely Siege Marine slowly but surely catching up. He's not the fastest of boys, missing out on all the action. Khorne Marines being pushed back, their morale has been broken. Blood Mechanicum ever looking more vulnerable.
Yeah, I just want to point out the lonely Siege Marine at the back of it. It's like, call him Joe. He wants to join, he wants to have fun.
That's it. Don't leave me out, guys. Come on, wait up for me. But I imagine slugging around a really heavy shield is probably not ideal for his
there you saw the blood pulse really in action for a second.
Absolutely.
A big blob that dealt a lot of damage to all units around. It does also do friendly fire, so be careful when using the blood pulse on your altars of Khorne.
Absolutely. Plasma generators, very vulnerable at the moment. Although I suppose it will buy the Khorne player a little bit of time while these plasma generators are being destroyed. Maybe it can build something else, but mind you, it does look like bit of like a final swan song for the Khornak player. He is going for some Khorne-possessed Marines, but is that going to change the tide? Is that going to push these Dreadnoughts, Razorbacks, and Space Marines all the way back home?
I'm sorry to say that, but it really looks over here. His economy is going down. He cannot engage melee before all his stuff dies. The sheer amount of resources, the Imperial Fists, and with these numbers he can throw at him will turn the tide here, or will, how should I say, will nail him down.
That's it. Oh, we don't have a big ability going on that blob of Space Marines. Saw like a little, what was it? Chaos Undivided sign. What did that mean? Did you see it?
No, I actually did not see it, sorry.
Oh, no, it's just a big cylinder. I thought, oh, there's going to be an explosion. And then there wasn't an explosion. Khorne-possessed Marines just absolutely annihilating this squad round the back. I mean, they're probably not going to turn back the tide, but give them a little bit of chance to shine, and they will certainly cut these boys to ribbons.
Yeah, it's also one of the squads that increases both requisition and power when in melee, but the economy for World Eaters is now 66 to 8 versus Imperial Fists 139 in 60, so there's nothing really to come back with. And there's even a Thunderfire cannon dropped in by a Tech Marine for good measure on the other side.
Oh, brilliant, yeah, nice one. Fantastic. I mean, these cultists, they're trying their best, but it's just not going to happen for them, is it?
No, they needed to turn attack into melee, because I think that's what they would deal more damage to it. But yeah, you see that's only the HQ and the barracks and the armory. That's it. No units really. But really nice game. I enjoyed it a lot because you had like the early aggression of the World Eaters, and then the sturdy defense of the Imperial Fists. Really nice.
That's it. Both factions definitely playing to their strong suits, and just added insult to injury. Triple heavy bolter turrets in the base just to make sure that they don't come back from the warp and stare these Siege Marines anymore.
I have to get still big shoutouts to Yasu for not using the overpowered global abilities of World Eaters. With them, he could probably have made his first push work. So either on purpose or not, yeah, very well played from both players here.
Fantastic. So before we conclude the game, Laughing Max, you're a YouTuber, you do stuff. Would you like to end the cast by telling us what you do and where people can find you?
Yeah, you can find me by my name, like the Laughing Max, with no spaces in between. I do for Dawn of War Unification stuff. I have done guides. I will continue with the next version. I have done like a Let's Play format, but it's in German. But I do have a lot of casts. Every week, one cast on Saturday. And when I get the time for it, I will also do some sneak peeks of the upcoming version. So make sure to watch those as well.
Oh, fantastic. I was going to say, because one of your sneak peeks was of the Death Korps Krieg, which I very much enjoyed that, because it's, I mean, dare I say, speaking for the whole Warhammer community here, Death Korps Krieg are probably one of the coolest factions ever, so when they get put in the game, I'm certainly going to be spamming them in the 1v1s.
You won't be disappointed, let me say that.
Fantastic. Okie dokie then, boys and girls. Always a pleasure, never a chore. My name's been Mr. Landshark. I'll see you in a bit. Peace.